Welcome to Project 2026. I was gonna do a gimmick of this whole oh man, I'm gonna do 12 albums in a year. I don't have enough songs. Give me ideas and really invite y'all into this journey, So gonna show myself struggling throughout the year to get these songs out and da da da. Or I was gonna do the whole genius gimmick of yo, I did that. 12 albums, bada bing. And I wrote this in 3 months. Look at this. Look what I can do in 3 months, kind of deal. But the truth of the matter is, I made a deal with myself. For those who are more spiritual, I basically promised God that if I ever got laid off, I would finally finish all the music that I've had, in my back pocket, and I'd release everything. And that's kind of exactly what happened. All good now. Got my job back. I think like I think God honored the promise I made and gave me exactly the amount of time I needed to get everything done. Because I don't know, from college to basically, well, I wrote some songs here when I moved back, but I would say 80% of the songs I wrote was between, let's say, 2017 to 2020. And that's when I wrote all of these songs. In the 3 months, I remastered, again, still, I'm not a pro, but I remastered them because they sounded like garbage. And some songs just sucked, so I rewrote them. And very few times I had to add songs to add context to the concept that I was trying to create. But it still amounted in, working 6 days a week, sometimes 7, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, for 2, 3 months. Yeah, I got it done. It's 12 albums telling one story. I'm going to release a video every month, a couple days after. I would love to sit down every song, show you how I made it, but at the end of the day, all I really want is for you guys to get the main theme of each album as we progress through the albums. So that's everything. Before I even start, this is the kind of thing I would talk about. So releasing all these songs, the gimmick, right? I think that's what I'm going to title this, in quotation marks. But the gimmick that I decided not to choose, right? I need to be real with you guys. And it's all coming out in this fantastic thing, mostly because I was too much of a coward before. I released my second album, which was I think a pretty solid rock album, high concept about the duality of narcissism, being on the receiving end of that. I mean, the come and goes of that. And it was received well by a few people, and I don't know. It just wasn't this I thought I struck gold, and everyone else was like, "Yeah, man, good, good job." And I'm like, what? And the second album is this deconstruction of, or the third album after that, which kind of feeds into this narrative, but also in the sense that it shows who I am. I released it and I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't want to go through the heartbreak of rejection, denial, all that. And I just held on to everything. And I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And I would listen to it in my car. There was a lot of drives where I didn't want to listen to anything on Spotify, and I just put on my own music. I have zero expectations of anything, becoming something. I mean, I do. There's a hope in me just because, I think I'm the guy, obviously, but I can recognize that I can think I'm the guy all I want, but that's, doesn't mean I'm the guy. And I don't need to be the guy. I don't need to make myself the guy either. Yeah, I guess I just wanted to get into like the psychology of it. Oh, and then I guess I should talk about the arching theme, but the psychology of me not releasing these albums. Yeah, I mean, there's just like year after year, my roommate would get upset. Shout out Pedro. I would like write a bunch of music, and then he's like, "So you gonna release that?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Dude, I feel like you're wasting your time in front of that computer, in front of your piano, in front of whatever." And he's like, "Nah, man. Like, I'm making music and da da da." And it would be somewhat the conversation like that because he knew like, man, this is actually kind of good. Like, release it. Not that like he's against having hobbies, but he was just like, dude, you talk about it, you have this expectation, and you don't do it. And even my wife felt that when we were dating. He was like, because I would show her my music and be like, all right, well, when is it gonna come out? And I'm like, oh, never soon, never, you know. I guess in my head I'm working out, you know, like should everyone who writes music on the side and has fun with music, should they just release their music? I mean, in a sense, like, yeah. Well, yeah, I guess why not? In my head, I think there's a sense of like saturating the market, and so I'm against it. But I think that a lot of people who just do it for fun, they're not really saturating the market because they're not really going after it. That's one thing. And I think another thing, I think the quality will speak for itself. Perhaps. I don't know, maybe not. In the sense that like, well, if you're just doing it as a hobby but you spend 2 grand on professionals to mix, master, and produce on that one song, that might just do better than some of my songs. And there's something there that I probably need to work out, because that's totally fair, and that's you invested your money, I invested my time. It's a different economy. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going through my head about all of that. The overarching theme about the whole thing, I guess it's a story. It's my story. It's the story from mid college to finding the path to happiness, but it's deeper than that. It's and I say path to happiness because because life ain't gonna be perfect in on this side of eternity. But you can equip yourself to have the best time, the most peaceful time, and like the most fulfilling time on this side of eternity. Like, this goes with the people you hang around with, the work, the where you live, what you eat, how you're living, your lifestyle, your weekly cycle, like all of these things. You can position yourself in a way that just brings you closer and closer. Like, if we consider that a perfect life isn't everything goes right, nothing goes wrong, and there's no risk and there's no anything, but we understand that like if we grant all these things, this is the best life I'm living, and I'm like currently living it, and everything is good relative to all these things. That's that. And what does that look like in song? Well, a lot of wrestling with my self-destructiveness, excavating parts of my heart, my soul, right? I mean, that's what music is. I just am trying to be intentional here. I'm trying to be intentional, and I'm trying to carve a path for anyone who's tired of the life they're living, who wants something more. And so that's my mission. Give me a year. Extra kudos if you're listening to the podcast and you're listening to my songs. They're not going to line up just quite, but I think transforming lives is always on my mind. And so like it's going to bleed into the podcast, right? And so, yeah, give me a year and you'll look back and your life is going to be different for better, I would say. Maybe on the surface level for worse, because you're going to start making decisions of like taking off leeches. Taking off a leech is never easy. It's going to hurt. It's like stuck to your skin. It's sucking your blood, right? That discomfort, that pain is worth your health in your life, right? And so, yeah, throughout your life, you might realize, man, these friends are not doing it for me. This girl, this guy is not doing it for me. These behaviors, this lifestyle, and for some people, that lifestyle comes with withdrawals. Sometimes it's gonna come with being hungry. I remember a coworker. She decided to get her fitness on and everything, and she was a little extreme, but I mean, she wanted the results. So she was on a caloric deficit. She was always hungry, always had a headache, but she understood why she was having all these things, kind of like drowning. Man, an analogy with another analogy, bro. Oh my gosh, no, but yeah, just this concept of once you understand the pain that you're gonna go through, you can say, oh, I can sign up for that. That's easy. Like at least I'm aware of what's gonna go on, and it's not a question mark of like, am I supposed to be feeling this? Am I dying actually? No, that's just your tummy, and when you don't get enough sugar, your brain starts getting headaches, which is fine because you have fats in your body that is going to be transformed into sugar and go to your brain and everything. So you're fine. You're fine. You know. So it's just those things, and then yeah, so lots of pain, lots of discomfort, but she got results. So I'm just saying, in that sense, because I don't want people thinking like the common change your life things, like you're a drug addict or you're sleeping around and you're like, oh man, I'm broken and I need to. It can be deeper than that, right? It can be deeper than that. It can be, oh, I'm an avoidant person and I avoid people I love. In that, I'm pushing away everyone I love and I'm ending up alone, which is the thing that I'm scared of, right? It can be a lot of things. I challenge you to be a part of this and do the work. That's so funny. Yeah. Sorry, the first album ends with me saying do the work. And we'll get into that then. Yeah, I think that sums up the overarching theme. And why Project 2026? Again, I was coerced into doing this. Hands tied, gun to my head. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, like I said, I promised myself, made a deal with God, however you want to let that sit with you. And and the situation came where I had to do that. So, ta-da! Nelson DeMello, aka nope, that's just me. Yeah, all right. Okay.